So, last time we looked at Photo Booth on the Macintosh as a way of using chroma key technology to superimpose ourselves in front of any number of different things, pictures or videos. Let's look at using iMovie, also on the Macintosh, as a more professional, robust way of doing this. All you need is a big piece of green cloth, first of all, or blue cloth if you're wearing a lot of green in your clothes already, and iMovie. We can do things like take ourselves to different locations. We can use video, and we can use course materials. Whatever you like, it's all up to you and your imagination. So let's get started. First, let's discuss the green in green screen. While you can find material available for sale online or get suggested Pantone values for this purpose, you can also get very good results on the cheap by just visiting a fabric store. Make sure that you choose a flat, relatively obnoxious variation of lime green. Don't choose a shade of green or blue that you typically wear or that you would want to include in your video. The rest of the process is as simple as standing in front of your material, minimizing the shadows, and starting your camera. So now let's import our video into iMovie. I'm going to grab the USB cable that came with the camera and I'm going to plug it into the Mac. If there are photos on the camera, then iPhoto is going to launch automatically and offer to import those. I'm not interested in the photos, so I'm going to close iPhoto and I'm going to manually launch iMovie from the dock on the Mac. It's the big star at the bottom. Once iMovie launches, I can go to the File menu and choose to import from camera. Now, when iMovie brings up the import dialog, it's probably going to be looking first at the internal camera in the Mac itself. So I'm going to click where it says camera and change that to my camera that I just connected, in this case a Canon. Now, if I choose automatic, it will import all videos it finds in the camera and then archive the remaining videos so that they can safely be deleted from the camera. In my case, I'm going to override that and choose manual because I only want that third clip. I'm going to give the clip an event name, which will help me find it later in my iMovie project. And then I'm going to change the size to a slightly smaller size just to save space, but you can use it in original size as well. And then I'm going to choose to let it run. It will now import the video for me. It will also place an archive version of this clip on the Macintosh hard drive as well, so I can safely delete it from the camera. Once the import is finished, iMovie will let me know it finished successfully. It will create thumbnails of the video so that I can see roughly what each scene has in it. And it will place it down in my event line down here. Now, at the start of this video, you'll notice that I have some blank space with the green screen, and at the end of the video you'll notice I left some just green screen by itself. This is useful. It helps the computer recognize what is you and what is green screen. So I would recommend finding a way to leave a little bit of that, both at the beginning and the end. So now let's look at bringing some elements in, pictures and other things that I'm going to superimpose myself over. So I'll move iMovie off to the side and drag some pictures that I have saved on my desktop directly onto the timeline where they show up. Now you'll notice I also have a little movie clip, an MP4 file in this case. What happens if I drag it to that timeline? Well, it won't go. Turns out iMovie likes you to import all video through the File Import command. So in this case I'm going to go File Import Movies and then choose the clip. iMovie likes this because it needs to both encode the video and create thumbnails for you, and the only way it can do this is through the import command. So it's generating the thumbnails. Once it's done, it's going to put the clip down in my event list where I can then select regions of it to drag up into my timeline. So now before I go any further, I want to go to iMovie, go to the Preferences menu, and ensure that Show Advanced Tools is checked because the default is unchecked. So the first time you do this, you're going to need to make sure Show Advanced Tools is checked. If it is not, you won't have access to green screen, blue screen, and a lot of other advanced tools that exist within iMovie. So now that I know that's been checked, I'm going to go and find the video clip I want to use, and I'm going to drag over the region of that video I want to put in my timeline. I'm going to ensure that there is some blank space at the end with just the green screen on it. And then I'm simply going to drag the entire thing and drop it right on top of the picture. Now you'll notice there's many different ways I can choose to put these videos together side by side and picture in picture, etc. But I'm going to choose green screen. Now the Mac will analyze that green screen and subtract it from the composite layer so that when the movie plays back, the green screen disappears entirely and I'm left and standing in front of whatever images I have underneath that video. Now remember how I said it was important to have a little bit of the green screen at the foreground, in the front and the back of your video clip? If I double click that clip, you'll notice that in the background I can subtract the final frame. This can frequently help the computer do a better job of cleaning up the edges between yourself and the background image. Some lighter images particularly can cause problems in pixelation. It's hard to see, I know, on a small screen, but you can definitely see a difference when you check and uncheck that option. All right, now let's look at adding video and superimposing ourselves in front of a moving image. It happens in a similar way, but I've got to bring this video into the project. So I'm going to select a range of the video I want to use, and then I'm going to drag it up into the timeline. I'm going to select some more video of myself. And I'm going to drag it up into the timeline, wait for that plus mark to appear, and then choose green screen. That's all there is to that. Now let's look at a couple of more features of iMovie before we finish up. First of all, if you click on the microphone, wherever you click on your timeline, you will be able to do a voiceover, and it will record it automatically. Once you're done, you can either hit stop or hit the space bar, and you've got an audio file of your voice recorded over your video, which you can then move wherever you want it in the project just by dragging it like any other piece in the timeline. Now let's look at a couple of other advanced features. To add music, click on the two musical notes, and anything in your QuickTime library or from GarageBand can be imported directly into your movie. Importing pictures, click on the camera. To import text, click on the big T. Find the text field you like the looks of the most. Drag it over the part of the timeline you want it to appear, and then just change out the boilerplate text for your text. You can go back and edit by clicking on the text box in the actual timeline. Once you double click, it will bring up a place where you can manually change the duration by typing in a new value. You can also click on the right edge and drag to the right to change the duration that way. You can click on the left edge and drag it to the left, or you can take the entire thing and move it around in the timeline. If you don't like the looks of the title once you see it, just simply double click next where it says title, and you'll be brought back to the title menu where you can preview and select any of the titles in the theme. Once you find one you like, double click again and it goes away, and you're ready to export your movie. Once you're happy with the way things look, go to the File menu and choose Finalize Project. iMovie will begin creating and rendering an HD quality version of your movie in all edits. The estimated time remaining may start with something really silly. It'll rapidly come down to somewhere around an hour, but be patient, it could take an hour or more.